welcome to Gray Magnolias. Yeah, just Gray Magnolias, right? I'm not a podcast or anything like that. So, as you can see, I'm wearing the same thing. My hair is the same. I just posted a video. I'm not sure when this one will go up. Maybe I'll have it all done today and I'll post it tomorrow before I leave for work or whatever. But since the month is almost over, I wanted to share, I guess, my TBR for February, see what happens with it. I knocked out 4 books in January, The Queen of Clowns, and then the Black Jewel series. And did I finish anything else? No, I didn't. I'm still kind of reading the Odyssey. I'm still obsessed with the musical and everything. And I did get my hands on the Emily Wilson translation, which is really good. I did renew it from my local library. So I'll kind of just like keep chugging here and there, but I just might return it and just pick it up later. I'm not like pressed, like I need to finish it or anything like that. It's still very good. I really am enjoying it for what it is, like such a classic. I'm not sure if I'll be able to actually finish this video before my little one gets up or anything like that. But I just wanted to share what I'm possibly reading next month. From leftover from last month, I have Daydreamer. I'm going to check this out today to see if I want to read it or not. It's by Jill Marie Landis. I spoke about it in my previous video. It's where she's, a stranger approaches her and she's like, hey, let's switch positions. And she takes the chance. So I got this for my birthday at the flea market. So we'll see if it's good. And then I'll post a picture here of what the books I'm talking about. Now where I work, since I am around books all the time, I'm like constantly exposed, which I love. And I've been actually checking out this one website. It's called Fantastic Fiction. I'll link it down below if I remember to do so. And it kind of just lists everything that's like coming out, varying in genres, authors, big authors, and all that good stuff. And I came across Water Moon by Samantha Sakato Yamabo. If I mispronounce it, I apologize. I think she's a Japanese author, Japanese American. I'm not sure if it's a translation or not. I don't have it yet. I'm like second in line. But it really caught my interest because it has to do with this woman inherits a thrift store that it's like a coffee shop, but then for the people who are seeking help, it appears to them as a thrift store, and they go in and seek and find help if I'm not mistaken. And something happens where she's like attacked and it's ransacked, and something was taken precious to the store or who she inherited from, and she's on a quest to find it. But then a mysterious handsome man comes to her aid, and instead of like seeking for help, he's offering help. So it's their journey about that, and just like that premise alone, I was like, that sounds great and something completely different. So I requested it and I'm awaiting it. The other book that I kept seeing, I know I'm like I really should just look at my own library and see what I should read from there. But I'm still kind of like on a fantasy kick, and I keep seeing The Shadow of the Gods, which I'll put a picture here. The 3rd book just came out end of last year, this year, I'm not 100% sure, by John Gwynne. If I mispronounced his last name, I apologize, but again, it'll be here. And that one is like a high fantasy, but it has Norse mythology representation. Very action-packed, supposedly. It follows 3 people, and kind of like the world is shifting and all this stuff. So that sounds great. I really just want to try it. It's gonna be a fat boy. I think it's like 600 pages, which I was burned from my last 600-page series. I don't even want to talk about it. If you know, you know. So I'm gonna be reading that. And then the other book that I'm reading, I follow her on Instagram. I will link her. I'll try to link her down below. It was a free book when I signed up for her newsletter for, it was like a little Christmas special. I don't necessarily think it's like Christmas-y, but it's a novella, so it should be like a quick, fun read. It's called When the Lord Adored Me by Lydia Lloyd. Yeah, Lydia Lloyd. Oh, I have it here. So it's on my Kindle. So beautiful, stunning cover. It's from the Rake Chronicles. So it's just like a little novella. It's apparently it's a standalone. I don't need to read any of her other books. This would be my first book of hers. But anytime she posts something about this book, I'm like, okay, I'll read it. You don't have to twist my arm anymore. Because like the little, you know how authors do like little snippets of like why you should read my book, and she has sold me every single time. So, and I haven't read anything super like spicy in a minute, so it'll be very fun to read. But yeah, that is everything that I'm going to be reading next month. Now I'm going to pivot, if I still have time and I don't get interrupted. I'm going to convince you to read a webtoon, hopefully. So the webtoon is I Am the Villain. I will post pictures as I speak here. It is a webtoon. It's completely free. There's about like 64 chapters you can read that won't cost you a dime. And then you can just wait. Like, webtoon is probably one of my favorite, like, to read, like, colored manga webtoony type thing like that. It is just manga, but it's just like all colored, you know, and you can self-publish in there and all that fun stuff. Because like, yes, I've spent money in there because I was just like desperate, like I needed to know. And also sometimes you can watch an ad to get a free chapter, and it's kind of just always unlocked for you. But just depending on how long the series is, the chapter will unlock on its own after a certain period of time. So anyway, so the webtoon is called I Am the Villain. It follows Lucy. It's pretty much an isekai, which an isekai is where, if I'm correct, is where the main character comes from a different world and gets thrown into another world, like That Time I Died and Became a Slime, or Konosuba, if you know. So like, something happened, some tragedy happened to the main character, died, pretty much they died, but they wake up again in another world of any kind, of in like their favorite video game, or the last thing they were reading, or this other parallel world that they had no idea about, and they're either super strong in this, in regards to like anime, that's usually how it goes, they're like super overpowered, and it's like really out of pocket, and they're usually like great fun, action, hilarious, raunchy, like really fun watches and reads. I highly recommend Konosuba for like funny, unhinged, just like what, like you will just laugh from start to finish. I really recommend that one. But this isekai is where Lucy, she tragically passes, or she like loses consciousness, but when she wakes up again, she's in a different world, and the world that she wakes up in is the romance book that she was just reading, and she's the villain. She's the villainess of the story. She looks just like her at the beginning. Like, it slowly shows it, like, as the chapters progress from the beginning, of how she was like in denial. They thought she was crazy, and they kind of like sedated her because she was like, where am I need to go back home, this is not my home, blah blah blah. But then she just kind of like accepts it, that she is like this, she's stuck, and she's just trying to get back home. But the person who finds her is Noah, and it's kind of a reverse harem, but so help me God, if Noah is not endgame, which you'll be seeing pictures here, the artwork is exquisite. It is so beautiful. It's not your typical like anime style. It's like very whimsical and brushed and painted, and it's just a masterpiece. So the journey is just of her like trying to adjust being in this world. And the book she just read, and she like knows the ending, she knows what happens to the villainess, and she's like, okay, well, you know, this and this and that. And it's just like, and everyone's like confused, like, you were such a bitch. How are you like this now? Because she's sweet, she's kind, she's, you know, lovable and all this stuff. And everyone's like really confused, like her brothers and all this stuff that she has in this world. And Noah, who finds her, he like saves her from like a river or something, like where she comes to at, and he declares himself his knight, her knight. When I tell you the slow burn, the tension, it is just okay. And then you meet all these other men, some who have more sinister intentions, someone who she's engaged to, but she's like trying to break the engagement, but then he's like falling in love with her, and he's the male main character of this story who's technically supposed to end up with someone else, but he's like falling for her, and he's like confused because it was just like a political arrangement and everything. It is so good. I can't even put it into words. I read, so she, and the author is Sejji. I'll put it here as well. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right either. I read this when she kind of was like self-publishing. Then I think Webtoon picked her up to support her and put her like on the top, like trending. I'm not sure how it works, but. And then she came out and I was like, oh my god, it's gone, because I got on Webtoon again. I was looking for it, and she like cleared everything that she had posted on that profile and started anew, and it's polished, it is exquisite. Some chapters are absolutely not long enough, and there is one bed trope. There is like, well, there's a big miscommunication trope, which I really don't like that trope. Over all the like romance stuff that I've read in my lifetime, I really do not care for the miscommunication trope. Maybe once, okay. Twice, you're pushing it. Like, communicate. I should take advice from that, but you know. So, and it's funny, I just read a little bit ago, because I wanted to film this sooner, but technical issues. They like held hands. When I tell you I screamed, I've never reacted like that in recent memory, at the very least. Especially because it's like a visual. You see, you're not like reading words and like trying to paint this picture in your mind, because like, you know, I like stood up from the couch and I was like, oh my god. And my son was like, what's wrong, Mom? And I'm like, they held hands, and he's like, yay. I'm like, I know. Oh my god. It was so beautiful. And like they like, in that point, they have to pretend that they're husband and wife, and Noah is like, hell yeah. She's like, oh my god, no, this is kind of embarrassing, but they're like both blushing. And I need to reread the chapter. It is so amazing, and like, I just cannot wait. And we already know at this point who Noah's identity is, because he's like an orphan and all this stuff. So by this point, I mean, at least for me, I've deducted like who he actually is. But so help me God, if they're not endgame, I will like be devastated. And it's funny, like, they accidentally did like a kiss after they held hands, and I could not give two F's about that. It was like one of those, like, they leaned in and they crashed and busted her lip and all that stuff. Okay, sorry, my little one just woke up, so let me just finish real quick. I highly recommend reading I Am the Villain. I can't emphasize it enough. If my like rambling wasn't enough to tell you, hopefully the artwork I put along as I speak that I was able to find off of Pinterest and stuff like that, because you can't obviously screenshot anything from Webtoons for copyright issues. It is so beautiful. It is so cutesy, gentle, like, obviously there's like villains and stuff like that, and the artwork is just chef's kiss. In one panel, they had been apart for several chapters due to something. And she finally is like alone enough without a chaperone to like go check on him. And when he opens the door, she has like the author drew like that her hair turned into a heart when she saw him. I was like, the details, the details, the details. But I'm gonna end it here. That's my plan for February of TBR. Maybe I might pick up something here and there depending on how quickly I'm reading. Again, now I have to balance work and on my days off to be more, mindful of getting things done. But I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you're reading for the month of February. If you've read anything that I've mentioned. Do you have any favorite webtoons? I'm willing to add more to my never-ending list. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I hope you please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And I hope you're reading something amazing and you're making something beautiful. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.